If you want a calm nervous system, but you find that yours reacts to every small, tiny thing and never settles no matter what you do, you are in the right place. Because I lived like that for 20 years of my life. And the thing that finally calmed my nervous system down was the literal opposite of everything I had been trying. So I'm going to tell you exactly what that was, even if you feel like nothing has ever worked for you. The truth is that nobody really cares about their nervous system until it starts causing problems for them. For most of our life, our nervous system runs in the background and it does what it needs to do, and it does its job, and we don't worry about it the same way we don't worry if our heart is beating the right way. But people tend to care a lot about their nervous system when they start to find that it is causing them problems. And normally the baseline where people learn something about the nervous system is because they're experiencing a bunch of anxiety, they begin learning about fight or flight, and or they go on to develop a lot of chronic symptoms. And these can be chronic mental symptoms or chronic physical symptoms like pain, fatigue, many other things. For me personally, I dealt with anxiety for 20 years. I had the complete opposite of what you would consider to be a calm nervous system. My nervous system was never calm. I never felt at peace. I always felt in danger. And because of that, I tried everything that you can think of, and most likely everything that you've tried, to calm my nervous system down. I wanted it to relax. I wanted to feel peaceful. And so I went on a quest, the quest to calm my nervous system. I tried everything the medical world had to offer. I tried meds. I tried everything the therapeutic world had to offer, all kinds of different therapies, psychedelics, ketamine-assisted psychotherapy, EMDR, IFS, and all of that was in order to help my anxiety and help me get out of this chronic state of panic and freaking out. But something I noticed over time was that it seemed like the harder I tried to fix my anxiety, the harder I tried to calm myself down, the worse things got. And I didn't see that as a problem for far too long, so I'm really going to try to save you some time in this video. The most important thing for you to understand before I get into what the secret is to a calm nervous system is how the nervous system works. And I'm going to explain it like I would explain it to a kindergartner. Your nervous system's job is constantly to decide if you are safe or if you are in danger. It just needs to decide how it can best to keep you alive. And if it senses that you're in danger, it will help you to run or to fight or to hide. And based on the history that you have, if you dealt with any trauma or any level of chronic stress to your body, stress in your life, your nervous system becomes more primed to experience not feeling calm and not feeling safe. And because of that, creating all these symptoms of anxiety, symptoms of pain, all kinds of physical and mental symptoms. So as I had mentioned, when your system never feels calm and you never feel at peace and it always feels like there's something dangerous happening, you jump in to change that. You jump in to fix that. And what I found after 20 years of struggling with chronic symptoms like anxiety and then chronic pain was that the secret to having a calm nervous system was to stop trying to calm myself down. And you could kind of apply that with a broad stroke. The secret to having a calm nervous system was to stop trying to fix my nervous system, was to stop believing that something was wrong with my nervous system that needed fixing. This is very challenging because everything inside of us is saying something is wrong. That's the mechanism. The mechanism is going off, and its sole purpose is to tell you that something is wrong and something needs your attention. But when these things become chronic and they become something that you're dealing with all the time, that mechanism has become a bit too sensitive. And when you combine those two things, understanding how the nervous system works, while also applying the secret to a calm nervous system, which is to stop trying to calm that nervous system down, you get the secret sauce. The secret sauce is learning how to work with the system instead of working against it. And that's the mistake that most people are making, is they aren't working with the system. They're working against it. And they're working against it unknowingly because they don't have the education of how the nervous system works. And they don't realize that these attempts to fix, these attempts to calm down, to be peaceful, to try to make what you're feeling go away, actually crank up the danger signal in the brain. They make the nervous system even more sensitive, even more on alert, which inadvertently gives us more symptoms, more alarm, and more chaos. So what do? How do you use the information that you have that this is my nervous system, it's working a little bit too well, it's a little bit too sensitive, and I need to stop trying to fix? Well, that's the first thing that you do. You have to stop treating every activation in your system as an emergency. And when I say activation, sensitization, again, I'm referring to everything that would cause you to want to do nervous system work or to be seeking out nervous system work, which is you're experiencing something in your body or your mind that you are uncomfortable with. It is deeply uncomfortable. It is something that we have this very strong urge inside of us to eliminate and to fix and to get rid of. And so we go on a quest to do that. And in doing that, we reinforce to the nervous system that these symptoms and these signals and this lack of calm is a problem, which makes it really hard for that feeling to pass through us. And that is where we will begin experiencing it as getting stuck. When I was in the throes of experiencing chronic symptoms like chronic anxiety, somatic OCD, an obsession about what was going on in my body, an obsession with focusing and ruminating and looping on my pain, I did many things that worked against me. I did many things that went counter to what my goal was, which my goal was to feel better. And everything I was doing every minute of the day was making me and helping me to feel worse. A couple of those things was making healing my full-time job. It was my full-time focus. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Making research my full-time focus. I was always on the hunt for something that was going to free me from my suffering. And something that I don't think we talk enough about is the dopamine hit we get when we get a little hope. So we're constantly looking for a solution that gives us a little hope, then micromanaging and hyper-focusing on whether or not it's working based on whether or not our symptoms are going away, and then continuing to get caught in this loop of seeking, trying, briefly, failing, and going back to seeking. When people are ready for this information, it can just be the biggest light bulb moment, especially when you've been trying to fix this problem for so long. And for many people, it opens the door to finally having that calm nervous system, which when you define that, it's just a nervous system that has capacity. And when we are living chronically stressed out and chronically anxious and chronically in pain, we are very limited on the capacity that we have. The biggest issue I see in this space is that when people have symptoms that cause them to even find work around the nervous system, they jump into the nervous system regulation world because what they are told is that their nervous system is dysregulated. However, for most people who are experiencing any type of chronic symptoms, we are now dealing with nervous system sensitization, not nervous system dysregulation. The delineation between these two things is so important. And if this is the first time you're hearing about it, it's very important that you understand what this distinction is. Once your system is sensitized, you begin experiencing a myriad of chronic symptoms. For me, I had had a life of trauma, abuse, attachment issues, and all of that led to this perfect storm where a dental procedure and a dental injection set off chronic pain in my face that spread to my head, to my feet, to the whole rest of my body, in addition to about 20 other symptoms. This experience is becoming such a prevalent thing in our world, and so many people are not informed on how their nervous system works and what you actually need to do in order to get better. But when you have the right information and you ask the right questions, you begin to see very clearly how the things that you're doing are contributing to a continuation of this anxiety and a continuation of all the chronic symptoms you're experiencing, and that you have a lot of power in your response to those symptoms to change the trajectory of your entire life and to recover and heal from these symptoms. So if that's you and you're experiencing chronic symptoms, I want you to watch this video. I go very deep into the difference between nervous system dysregulation and nervous system sensitization. I guarantee you're going to have a light bulb moment when you watch that video. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you guys next time.